So what we're doing today is actually the second stage. I actually lost all the footage from doing the first stage. So I've already found my node, so I'm out here today verifying that node. So I looked for my 3 targets where the groupings were in the closest proximity, and then I now have loaded 4 or 5 charges in between those charges from the previous round, and I'm just gonna look for smallest group and then, you know, 2 groups that group close to each other. So I'm fine-tuning the load right now. So that's what we're gonna do. Not gonna film it. It's pretty boring, simple stuff. Shoot 1 bullet from each group, giving the barrel time to cool, and then once they're shot, we'll go down and take a look at the target. In fact, I'll probably use the GoPro and film the target. All right, so here we have it. So here's our first shot, our fouler. And these 4 are all right in a group. We got 2 here, 1 here. You got these 3. That's not such a great group. This one here, I don't know what happened with this guy, but these 2 grouped right in. But we can definitely tell that our node is on the lower end of this charge scale. I'm probably gonna go with this one. This was the second string, and I think I was having some issues with some heat getting into the barrel, but our node is definitely right in here. So all right, we'll head back to the shop and we'll talk about it a little more. Okay, we're back from the range. So here's my OCW worksheet. And I was in a hurry and it printed out in portrait instead of landscape. That's why it's like this. It works a lot better if you print it out in landscape view, as I think I talked about in my previous video. So I brought this to the range, and you know, here's the notes. At 92.9 grains, I had a sticky bolt on a couple of shots, so I didn't fire the last charger. Last charge was over anyways. And if you look here, see my node was actually in this area anyways, so there was just no reason to fire that last charge. Even if it looked like it was the start of an accuracy node, it'd be too hot of a charge, and it was a little cool today, so the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Basically, it wasn't worth trying to find a node at a higher charge weight, because probably it would cause pressure problems on a warmer day. So here's my target from the first round, or targets from the first round. So this is, let me make sure you can see this. You see this? Okay. So I just wrote the charge weight. Use this center here as a point of aim and set it up so the rifle would impact in here. That way it gives you a clean point of aim, so you're not, if you group a bunch of shots here, then you don't know where the center, it's hard to tell where the center of the target is for consistency's sake. And then I just put a little blue dot where the center of the group was. I don't know if you see that. Blue dot. And then I just sort of actually what I tried to do first, I tried to like do this and then copy the circle holes, and it didn't work out really much better. So then I just ended up, you know, putting dots at the center of the groups. So I look for my groups that you're looking for 3 groups or more, whatever it is, that will, the center of each group, each individual group is with 1 MOA. So that turned out to be between 91.5 and 92.4 grains. And 92.4 looked to be the outlier of those load groupings, so to speak. So I knew my accuracy node was on the low end of that range. So my node would be on the low end of this range. And you know, these aren't spectacular groups. I had had an issue where I had actually set my dies up wrong and it was oversizing the brass. So I actually was having some issues with some light primer strikes. I think that's what this is about. Maybe getting some slight hang fires. So I found my node. So then what I did is I loaded up 4 cartridges, charges, splitting, you know, the gap in charge weights for where I thought my accuracy node was. I went a little below, and then I didn't go quite to 92.4 because, like I said, 92.4 looked like the beginning of the start of a scatter node. And I just I loaded 5 at this charge weight, just because I wanted to zero the rifle. And at this stage, what you're looking for is you're looking for all of the shots to see if they would impact within a minute of angle at the 3 charge weights. So here's the target. So here's my first shot, and then I, you know, just moved over to here. Then I'm trying to remember what order this was in. But anyways, if you look at the video of the shots, the first 3 shots basically all landed, you know, other than, so I shot that's what it was. I shot a 3-shot group to begin with, just to get my 0. So I shot here and then 2 more to make sure I was within 0. And then the next 3 shots, even though they were at 3 different charge weights, all impacted within like 3/4 of an MOA. Now I think on the second string, I had some flyers like this guy. This was the second shot at this charge weight. I think I was having some problems with overheating of the barrel, and on this bullet, as I put it in, I noticed that the copper jacket had been engraved. Like, I don't think that case had been chamfered properly, so maybe, you know, that caused it. But I did notice on the second string, it looked like the groups were going to start opening up. So I just let the barrel cool longer, and then, like, again, at this charge weight, the second shot was basically on top of the first one. You know, and again, same deal here, was on top of the first one. So this group, and again, it's at the upper end, so at 92 grains, and then again 92.2. Look where that group ended up being, and look how big it ended up being. So this is clearly a scatter node. So my optimal charge weight load is probably somewhere between here and maybe even on the lower side. So I'm probably going to load right at 91.5, 91.6, try to split the difference, just so I have, you know, on a hotter day I don't end up over here, though. Even though really the center of this group would still be within, you know, pretty close. It's right about here, where the center group is here and here. So I probably could go higher. I just, you know, we're talking about what, a half a grain difference. I just don't think a half a grain and like 25 feet per second is worth the risk of finding myself, you know, a gun that'll shoot awesome on a 60-degree day, and I go out on a 90-degree day, and all of a sudden it's, you know, 1.5 MOA. So I'm probably gonna load at, you know, 95 in the summer when it's hot, 91.5 in the summer when it's hot, and then 91.6 when it's cool off. So there you have it. That's a little bit of how to read the targets, and you know, the groups here sucked basically. So all my brass is now going to all get sized, cleaned, and annealed. It's all going to be in the same number of firings in the same state, which is clean and annealed. I'm going to weight sort it. I'm going to weight sort the bullets, and then go out, shoot a few groups, make sure everything looks okay, play with seating depth perhaps a little bit. I'm at 15,000 seating depth. Most people will recommend 20, so I might try seating a little further out, see what that does to group sizes. But yeah, other than that, shoot some groups, try a couple at a little deeper seating depth. If I don't see an improvement, I'll go back to where I'm at, and then I'll get her zeroed, and then I'll probably, unless it's just, you know, screwing around like having buddies over shooting guns, I'll probably never shoot this rifle at 100 yards again, because it's a 338 edge rifle. It was built for 1,000 yards and beyond, and shooting at 100 yards, especially shooting groups, I find a little tedious. It's like buying a Bugatti Veyron and living in an apartment complex and only driving it an 1/8 mile, you know, over speed bumps to check the mail. It just seems pointless to me. So there it is. There's the OCW method in a nutshell. And the finding of your node, right? You can always you can go to the forum, print these targets off, shoot them, and then post them on the forum, and they'll be more than happy to help you, you know, determine what your accuracy node is.